Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a massive and honestly a really fun what-if scenario. What if the beating heart of global innovation wasn't Silicon Valley, Shenzhen, or Tokyo, but the Mediterranean?
Specifically, what if the most stylish country on Earth suddenly became the most technologically dominant? We're going to explore how a nation absolutely famous for Renaissance art, ancient ruins, and high fashion could, hypothetically, outpace every single superpower in the race to build the future. Now sure, it sounds like pure science fiction, but as you'll see, this kind of shift would completely redesign our entire global order. Let's start with Section 1, the Italian Tech Renaissance.
At first glance, this idea might seem a bit out there, especially if you only associate Italy with history books, tourism posters, and classical architecture. But just imagine waking up to their sudden, undeniable dominance in quantum computing, aerospace, and artificial intelligence. The world's initial skepticism would literally vanish overnight, turning into pure shock, and then deep admiration.
Under this scenario, Italy wouldn't just copy the cold industrial aesthetic we see from current tech giants. No, they'd build a future with a distinct, unmistakable identity. The technology itself would look totally different. Innovation wouldn't just be functional, it would be beautiful. We're talking about devices crafted with the exact same painstaking care as luxury sports cars and high-end fashion.
So what does that actually look like in everyday life? Well, we'd have robots moving with incredible precise grace, completely ditching those clunky mechanical jerks. We'd be driving electric vehicles that literally feel like rolling sculptures. Even in healthcare, medical devices wouldn't just work, they'd be specifically designed to actively ease human anxiety. The future wouldn't look sterile at all, it would look incredibly sophisticated.
Moving right along to Section 2, New Center of Global Power.
Picture this incredible new map of global influence. Milan steps up to directly challenge Silicon Valley as the definitive global tech capital. Turin leads a worldwide robotics revolution. Bologna drives advanced, cutting-edge European semiconductor research, while Naples completely modernizes smart maritime logistics. And Florence? Florence achieves something entirely unique by seamlessly blending artificial intelligence with fine art.
Because of this massive decentralization, the entire global supply chain gets disrupted. The center of European power shifts decidedly south and westward. It's no longer dictated by legacy financial institutions up north, but directly by these new, vibrant Mediterranean engines of invention.
This takes us to Section 3, Heritage meets High-Tech.
This brings us to a really fundamental difference in philosophy. While other nations have historically built tech purely for speed, raw power, and maximum efficiency, Italy would produce technology that actually feels alive, intentional, and culturally rich. It's the stark difference between a machine that just coldly does a job and a whole ecosystem that actually enhances the human experience.
This philosophy would physically manifest right there in the streets. Imagine walking past centuries-old palazzos that are seamlessly hiding futuristic research labs, or seeing ancient architecture housing quantum computers. They wouldn't just bulldoze their history to build the future, they'd weave the future directly into the historic fabric of their city centers alongside smart mobility grids.
As the source material puts it perfectly, in a world led by Italy, the future would feel less like a laboratory and more like a beautifully composed city operating in absolute harmony with the people. Science and art are no longer rivals here. They become intimate partners, creating emotionally intelligent and visually unforgettable smart spaces.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Defending the Innovation Empire.
But of course, it wouldn't be all espresso and beautiful robots, right? When you become the center of global tech, you place a massive, glowing target on your back. Italy would suddenly face the really heavy burdens of leadership. We're talking intense intellectual property battles, relentless cybersecurity threats, industrial espionage, and aggressive foreign governments constantly trying to poach their top talent.
To defend its edge, the nation would absolutely have to go on the offensive. They'd need to pour massive investments into state-of-the-art cyber defense, ensure absolute digital sovereignty, and secure both semiconductor independence and hyper-resilient energy networks. The main challenge here is no longer just creating innovation, it's fiercely protecting it.
Now for Section 5, Rome as Tech Diplomacy Hub.
Defending the empire requires real political leverage. Rome would transform from a historic capital into the absolute center for global tech governance. Global leaders wouldn't just gather for standard diplomacy anymore. They'd be traveling for high-stakes innovation summits. Rome becomes the grand arena where the world negotiates AI safety, sets the strict boundaries of data ethics, champions digital rights, and structures climate adaptation policy.
Think about what a monumental shift this is. Italy transitions from being merely a participant in global debates to becoming the central architect defining the terms of the next century. Nations everywhere from the US to China would be forced to negotiate directly with Rome as the supreme authority shaping global tech standards.
Finally, Section 6, a new philosophy of progress.
Ultimately, the absolute greatest export of this Mediterranean tech empire wouldn't be its gadgets, its patents, or its software. It would be a brand new philosophy of progress. This is the realization that innovation just doesn't have to be aggressive or soulless. Progress can actually be elegant, emotional, and deeply rooted in history, all while still reaching toward the stars.
We would see this mindset applied so beautifully right across society. Schools would use immersive tech to make learning actually feel alive. Precision agriculture would be deployed specifically to protect famous regional food cultures rather than just mass-producing flavorless crops. And high fashion would integrate sustainable AI-assisted smart fabrics in a way that feels totally luxurious instead of gimmicky.
This scenario proves a really powerful point. A nation simply does not have to abandon its identity to become technologically great. It can actually build on it. A culture obsessed with beauty and human experience can absolutely build the future while retaining its very soul, proving once and for all that technology is at its best when it serves culture instead of swallowing it whole.
So if a future like this is even hypothetically possible, it begs a massive question about our own real-world trajectory. Will the future merely ask what we can build, or will it demand to know how beautifully, how thoughtfully, and how boldly we can build it? Thanks so much for exploring the scenario with me today. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.